Hey guys.
Hey!
Hey.
Happy New Year and welcome to our
Yeah.
first ever podcast.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be a last.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll still
We
like
are being very ambitious. This is the mic, so as you can see, the inexperience right here.
I don't think the people can see the mic
I
on the
don't think
frame.
there's anybody's watching either, so
It's
it's
okay.
okay.
We'll just believe this year that somebody's watching us.
Right. All right.
Speaking of believing, I thought you had something in the morning you shared with me about an outbreak in the social media.
Right. So it was actually yesterday, and I read that Facebook has admitted that social networking is bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was wondering, it was really bad for Jesse Eisenberg, that fella, who was in Social Network, that movie.
Of course.
Yeah. We haven't seen him since.
He disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah, I did. And then I wondered, yeah, social media is really bad for you. I mean, but if we had other things to do, we wouldn't be doing it. And I have no strong feelings about it that, well, it's bad, you have to stop it. I mean, if a guy, all he's doing is, sitting in front of a phone,
And
liking
feeling
pictures,
his-
stalking women,
Yeah,
he's free to do that.
of course. That's the millennium dream come true, isn't it? Just being anonymous and scrolling through pictures. But that's such a waste of time. I mean, isn't alcohol,
That's the whole point, to
drinking,
waste time,
anything? But
to kill time.
yeah, but
What else are you gonna do with your time?
what else
Not
are you
all
gonna
people
do?
are like,
Some people are protesting and there are revolutions going on in other parts of the world. That's what people are doing when they have come out of this whole social.
yeah,
Speaking of protests,
yeah. Speaking of that, how are you speaking about Iran?
yes,
The
bang
place where
on.
there's no social media since 2009.
Absolutely. Since 2009, however, they've been ingenious enough to come up with their own social media to kind of organize and rally
Right.
troops, right? Which is
Which
kind
is
of
what?
Telegram, which is a Russian
Amplifying their
application
prayers 5 times a day. Is that the social
for
media?
freedom and for a revolution to take place. But speaking of Iran and the kind of political struggle which is going on there, did you know that the current supreme leader
Current supreme leader, who's that? Acha, in Iran.
in Iran,
Right.
yeah, yesterday,
That's like
yesterday, so
alias for a supreme bitch.
for people who don't know what's happening in Iran,
Yeah, well, you should. We're not gonna tell you. We don't know much, but we're not gonna tell you either.
no, but we will tell you a little bit of a snippet. They are seeing the most dramatic uprising by the people against the government, which is tyrannical. They've been fighting unemployment, fundamentalism, fanaticism. So the people are finally rising, and in this rising, so while this protest is going on and they're organizing movements, Iran's supreme leader yesterday, to add fuel
Can
to
you
fire.
stop referring to
I am
whoever the
whoever-
fuck that is?
I
as a-
cannot
as
pronounce
a
his
supreme
name, but
leader?
whatever.
First
So,
of all, it's the supreme leader is reserved for the North Korean president or prime minister, whoever that
it is
guy
a
is.
it is a
Alright?
the
It's Kim
tyran-
Jong Un, so respect
Oh,
that
really?
guy. All right.
Yeah, one silent prayer in his memory,
Yeah.
and for his fortitude.
He hasn't
But well,
died yet, but yeah.
so they've basically said that we are going to ban English language.
They have banned
And
English, teaching
starting
English
from
in primary
yesterday,
schools
yeah,
or something like that.
Which
Yeah.
is because it's supposed to be a manifestation of evil and
What?
all the Western ideas you're exposed
Yeah,
to the minute you
well-
learn the language.
Exactly. So this is what you get when you put a bunch of religious nut jobs at the top of the government, and you even call it a government. That's a stretch. Someone who tweeted in reaction to this English ban was that I am ready to render my services. I will teach the kids I will stream my tutorials through YouTube, and I wrote back to him that there's no YouTube over there. If Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there is no YouTube.
We are with you if you do have
Facebook
some access.
or Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's all been banned anyway. They've been communicating on Telegram and an interesting social media outfit which has just recently emerged.
Yeah.
But
It's called Al Jazeera app.
let's not get there because that's
They
a
share-
completely different story.
They share
will move
videos
into,
of beheadings. Can you
the
lay
U-
out this?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is absolute haram,
This
and
is-
you're not to touch this.
This is a sin.
The supreme leader.
The Supreme
has
Leader, Kim
banned
Jong-un,
touching it.
and the Iranian Supreme Leader are not going to be happy with me touching
The
things
mic.
which
If you
look
guys
like a
can't
phallic
see,
symbol.
this is a mic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why couldn't the mic be in any
I'm
different
pretty sure
shape?
you're not joking. I'm pretty sure you don't know it's a mic and how it works. But yeah, if
But
you
we'll carry on. We'll
if you
never mind him.
punch it, it's not gonna behave all that well.
No, that thing does, no?
Yeah.
If you punch it, every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
We're not gonna delve into
Scientific
physics over here because
physics.
she'll totally
I'll hijack the
murder me on that
hijack
subject.
the conversation.
She's like
of
a
course. I'm a liberal arts student, and
physics
while
prodigy.
he is a what are
I'm
you?
nothing. I'm just a guy with a
Fedora.
stupid hipster fedora.
Yeah. You know
Anyway.
about the other thing which sort of circulated yesterday besides the Golden Globes?
Yeah. Nothing circulated besides the Golden Globes.
Yeah,
That
it was the talk of the
all
town and how.
that I was seeing everywhere, but just basically just Twitter.
Yeah, but what did you feel about the position which was taken, a very strong position and
Right. Very strong
a
position.
very strong political.
There is no strength if there is nobody
Fashion gets political, right?
Yeah,
Like
right.
black became the color.
There's nothing political about it. You're just wearing black. You could have worn something else. Just like somebody mentioned that wearing black and protesting about something is like liking a Facebook photo to save a child who's dying from cancer. It doesn't do anything. You're not doing anything.
Well, I mean, of course you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
and
I
what
mean,
is
go ahead
what is
and
really
do
pitiful
things.
is that even despite this whole thing which is blown over about, getting up and finding your own voice and the whole hashtag Me Too campaign, you really haven't seen anything which has emerged which is actionable, right? Like the whole protest, like what did wearing black on the red carpet do
Well-
for the victims and for people who were
For one thing, they can be consistent about who they associate with. For example,
True. They didn't have to give Kirk Douglas, who was accused of
Well, he was
raping
just-
a 16-year-old back in the day.
I don't know about the specifics about that.
So
but
how-
maybe he was
it's a
just
complex-
accused. I don't know. I have no research on that subject, so I wouldn't just accuse
Comment.
somebody of like rape or something like that. But yeah, and maybe
Yeah.
a word or two about Roman Polanski or Woody
course.
Allen
Or even-
the great monster of 2017, Mr. Harvey Weinstein. Who was Oprah's friend, I believe, and who was also Meryl Streep's
He
friend.
was Meryl Streep's really close associate, and Meryl Streep did finally come
Not
out.
that close. If
Yeah,
you know
well,
what
she
I mean,
finally
yeah.
did come
There
out
were few
with a
people who were
statement.
really close to Weinstein.
Yeah, but Meryl Streep especially so. Well,
Yeah.
a little too
He
close
didn't-
for their comfort or for
He
their
didn't
discomfort.
fancy Meryl Streep in that way. Yeah, too
Well,
bad.
but speaking of Meryl Streep, and what I find quite interesting, actually quite sad, is that in all of this controversy around like why you've associated with
Have you heard of her movie, The Post?
Yeah.
Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it was I don't know, it was a surprise or like a. Is that a thing nowadays where you see the woman's name first? It was written The Post Streep Hanks. So basically, Meryl Streep is given a higher billing than Tom Hanks.
But is she given more money than Tom Hanks?
I don't know. She
Well,
possibly
figure
will.
it out. And I
if
think
you can't like
But coming back,
77
Okay.
cents.
try and not hijack this Meryl Streep conversation, because what I was trying to talk about was the fact that in all of this controversy which has happened, Meryl Streep should have just at least come out and acknowledged that,
Come out as
Come-
a lesbian.
not as a lesbian or not as, and even if she did, it doesn't really matter, because we are, we are a
What?
millennial generation who is completely cool
Millennial
with
generation.
millennial generation, which is
Okay.
completely cool with people identifying.
I don't know if I
themselves
identify as
as-
a millennial.
Well, I don't know
Maybe
about
I'll
you, but
come out,
maybe I am.
come out as a millennial one day.
Yeah,
But
one day.
yeah,
I pray
I'm
for
not
you.
brave enough currently.
We are brave to put ourselves through this right now and subject ourselves to a lot of bouquets of and brickbats we don't know, but we are trying.
Yeah.
But coming back to the thread which we just lost again, thanks to your Meryl Streep should have at least for once said that I am sorry. I did not know of what Weinstein was
She has
doing.
already said that
No, but she's not.
to her defense, yeah.
She has said that to her defense, but they've not acknowledged the fact that in the past they have made the mistake of standing up and applauding these people who were given honors, honorable mentions and awards through the years.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they stayed silent. Like
it's
they could have
just not
just.
like a standing ovation, right? She is also, there's a clips, or you can
And I
find it
love
on.
Meryl's work. I mean, don't get me wrong, Meryl. I
But
love
that is
your
besides
work.
the point.
But that's besides the point.
I love Kevin Spacey's work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean,
He's acted in some of the most amazing
and
films.
he chooses to live his life now as a gay man, but doesn't make what he might have done 30 years ago
Absolutely not.
pardonable.
Absolutely not. But it's about like recognizing that and then standing up, and recognizing your failure
Like,
to.
it's everybody knows sexual assault, rape, any sort of violence against women. It's wrong. You don't need to make that one movie award function about that thing alone. Focus on the movies, for Christ's sake.
Well, I have sort of lost faith in all of these big mainstream awards over the years because remember the movie
I
Disney
never
puts
had
out.
faith.
Well, Oscars, I would be the first to get up.
Faith.
Yes, Oscars. I grew up watching Oscars
I
in
know.
India.
I grew up watching
6 o'clock
movies,
in
but
the
not
morning. No,
Oscars.
because the whole, the grandeur of movies and the whole celebration of it and the theatrics, I found really fascinating growing up. So I always thought that the movies which made it to the Oscars were the best movies of the year. But off late, we've sort of seen it.
This is an Oscar move.
This is an Oscar move. But we've seen off late that, most of the movies which finally make the cut, Golden Globes or Oscars, they're not really worth
Yeah, and that's
all
not,
the cinema which we've watched, right?
that's not the mark of a movie if it's good or bad. For example, who was it? Who was the actress who called out? Was it Jessica Chastain yesterday? Who was called out to present the awards
Yeah.
for Best Director?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. I thought Jessica Chastain is the go-to social justice warrior these days, but no, it was Natalie
SJW
Portman.
here.
No, I'm alright.
Are you a lover?
Of course, I
Of
can
SJW?
love a few of them.
Of course. From a distance.
They need that. Anyway, so what did I?
Natalie Portman. She
right.
announced the best director.
She was with some other dude, and she was announcing the nominees for best director. The guy announced the nominees, or something like that, and she interjected in a very snide manner. She said, "And the all-male nominees are," and the camera panned to the faces of the nominees, and they were like,
As is the case for most of the times they announce awards. And why not? Like, she can
But-
make a snide remark because
yeah, as long as it's in jest, but I don't know.
No, it shouldn't be in jest because, Patty
But
Jenkins,
isn't
Wonder
the
Woman,
one
Greta
criticism-
Gerwig, Lady Bird.
Lady Bird won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, but
right?
the
It's
fact
not
that the
they're-
directors, the first work which is out, and it's a good movie.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things.
Yeah,
about it.
and even Patty Jenkins, and I mean, it's just recognizing the gender disorder, which is prevalent, right?
Gender disorder.
Gender disorder. Yeah, we just came up with a new word.
Gender disorder that's prevalent. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Gender disorder that's prevalent. Is that being a woman?
No, it's being a man with an opinion like this,
Right.
which stems the gender disorder.
Right. I am the reason that there's no female director nominated. In fact, there hasn't been a female director that has won the award, I guess, since early 1980s. I
Sophia
guess.
Coppola.
I don't know.
Don't
I guess
you guys put some awful comments on the way I just pronounced Sofia Coppola.
It
Coppola.
doesn't matter.
It's okay, fine.
She can't pronounce your name either. It's okay.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So, yeah. Since the 80s, I think there's just been one female director that has won an award for the female
We'll get back to you on
for
who
the
that is.
best director
Yeah.
category. And someone commented on Twitter that I wasn't paying attention, and as soon as Natalie Portman said that the all male nominees are, I knew that it was the best director category.
Of course. Because that's what we are wired to believe all these years, that a director is going to be making one of the big,
But I hope
Oscar
they're
cuts.
not while listing out the nominees, while shortlisting the nominees, they're not like, oh, let's see, oh, this was
Oh,
a great
yeah.
movie, but this was
This-
made by a girl. Oh,
Yeah, well, that is not
too
cool
bad.
because talent
That
should
would-
be
I would give them great props
non-gender
if they're doing
specific.
that. That's like good stuff. The
Well-
Golden Globes are like really shrewd.
The
Nice.
Golden Globes. The Golden Globes are
Globes, we are-
Globes.
We're
the
Asian.
pussy grabber.
We're Asian.
We are Asian, and we
Golden-
can't.
the
We still
Golden
can't get
Globes.
over Trump.
The Golden Globes.
The
Well,
Golden
how
Globes.
did Trump figure into this?
The Grobers, just the first instinct was grabber,
Acha,
and then
right.
grabber to Grober to Trump. I mean,
Yeah,
it just fit.
Trump is the only person in the world who has ever groped a woman.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Grabbed and groped.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But
Sad.
very.
How do you do a Donald Trump?
Can I just get a glass of water? Like that man. What house?
Lies. Sorry, I can't do a Donald Trump.
It's okay. We'll get there at some
Huge.
point. Huge. But the huge musical news.
You're just acting like Hillary Clinton right now. Alright?
Oh, damn it.
Don't
I don't
try.
want to.
Don't try.
Sorry. I am not Hillary.
Yeah.
And I make
Speaking
no
of
bones about the fact
female
that
presidential
I don't,
candidates. Your favorite.
she was definitely not my favorite, and that's
President-
why it was such
the-
a crazy election year last year, because there was nobody you could really vote for. You had
We're talking about
Hillary.
the US election. I don't know why, but yeah, we are.
but we were talking about huge news and huge musical news.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey and Radiohead, The Creep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The Creep Fiasco.
What happened?
Um,
Thork, you go, boy.
this is not called Thorg. He's called Tom York.
Oh, damn it.
He's gonna sue you.
Tom
He's
York.
gonna sue you for money you don't have.
Thork.
Thork?
Thork. This was my first podcast, and it's going to be unedited, and we're just
Are
going to
you gonna
keep
call her
it-
Rana Del Rey?
York. No. It was just a goof up, and
Anyway.
we will see past this.
So, Radiohead is suing Lana Del Rey for
Creep.
cheating. For cheating on Tom York. No, they are suing her for infringement of copyrights over their hit song, "Creep," which was in news when it first came out,
Yeah.
of being identical to another lesser known song by a lesser known band. I don't remember the names or the specifics. But yeah, that song has, if you're a musician, that song has a very peculiar chord progression, and if you are trying to ape that, it's going to be very apparent. So, I don't know.
But isn't like the creative arts such a copyright infringement is something which you keep hearing of?
I mean, a lot of artists have sued people over the years, and even Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven was in the news not so long ago for being a rip-off of this rather unknown track. So, which is widely considered as one of the best rock songs, or the best rock song of all time, right? So it's nothing new. There's always been things like these happening, but Radiohead,
But you
one
wouldn't
thing,
have expected them to go after.
yeah, because
They're
you would have
just so-
expected Radiohead to write like a really depressing song about it.
Cheaters, they never learn.
Yeah, that's a good one. But they love when they sue us. So they're suing her for 100% of the money she's made or something like that. She offered them 40 or 30, something like that. but they weren't gonna budge. They're like, this is how we're gonna earn our money.
Well, I don't think they need to earn it through Lana. They are
Why not?
like they're a great bunch of artists, but they're fighting for what's right.
Yeah,
At the end of
if
the
they
day,
if they do believe that she
if they
is
do believe-
stolen from them, then they've got the rights. to do
Unlike
that.
India, where it seems like it's a birthright to steal and then celebrate that stealing of
Well,
an intellectual
it's
property.
not a birthright to steal, but we have a tendency to celebrate people who basically aren't real innovators or creators, right? So let's put it that way. I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands of people who are extremely creative in our country,
I
but
am
they just
certain.
don't get that level of
Yeah, because
notoriety or fame
why do you think they don't get that same level of notoriety of fame?
because we like a
We
little
like
bit of
what's
masala.
tested and tried before.
Yeah.
And very rarely do you
Yeah,
want
punch the mic because we like to punch the thing that is
to. You cannot see the mic, but there is a mic right here.
yeah right.
It's hidden.
Yeah, as we have reminded you once before, but she's completely forgotten about it.
I'm a goldfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is
And-
the gold part.
And the fish,
Yeah, then you can have that.
not the gold.
You can identify as fish.
But you do
It's
realize that
2018.
it just looks it, no? And appearances can be deceptive, and they can be also
Can they?
racist.
I think appearances.
Speaking of racism,
I don't speak of racism. What,
you do speak of racism.
Speak for yourself.
I'm going to speak of racism and how fashion is increasingly, and fashion is known to be extremely divided when it
Yeah,
comes
well,
to.
you're gonna bash fashion, like
I'm not bashing
knock
fashion.
yourself
I love
out. I'm not
fashion.
gonna defend the fashion industry, but
We are not
it's
defending
just,
the fashion industry. We're just recently
What-
talking about the H&M hoodie, which is out.
recently, as in yesterday, I
which
guess,
is yesterday, yeah. And it's not the first instance of something which may be artistic or visual. And sometimes you're not programmed to think of so many.
For those those of you who haven't been reading up the news, so H&M came up with this clothing line for kids, I
Yeah.
guess, and one of the ads, the child model was a black kid, and he had
a hoodie which she was
a
wearing.
hoodie on, and it was written "the coolest monkey in the jungle." So.
So that's what it is, right? Like
So,
we get to. I mean,
And there was also it came to light there was also a white kid who had a like a survivor
oh.
and with the lion's face on it.
Yeah,
So-
but now we are so wired to think of like what is this person feeling, what is this kid going through, that
Apparently that
we don't
kid-
take things
kid-
on face value, right? Like that kid would probably be happy to be
it's
a
more than what
monkey
that
in the
kid.
jungle.
What are you saying?
Yeah, like it's about like how kids are not aware of such so-called like long elaborate history and the reason why you've got.
Exactly,
Yeah,
but
right.
adults are, right? They are aware of it. So people who are getting outraged for this time, I think is justified to an extent. Who is to say that was not their intent or whatever? It's all seems too much of a coincidence, right? It's I mean, there is
It
good to
seems
have a
like they
certain
had a
level of
really
balance in the outrage, right?
Silly stylist who couldn't at this point, which is a very volatile time which we are at in terms of everybody having an opinion about
It was
everything
way
and
more
getting
volatile.
offended.
It was
No,
way more
like
volatile
it,
in 1945 when
like
the war,
if you know,
World War II was
I
going
mean,
on.
who's to say that if a white kid had like he was wearing the same hoodie,
Which had it on it, which had written on it,
yeah.
okay, that I love my sister,
No, not like my sister.
In
I'm
the
talking about the
special way.
monkey thing.
right?
The monkey hoodie, the H&M
So,
monkey hoodie.
It's
I mean,
the
how
worst
is
of the racial
so that's what
stereotype,
I'm saying, right?
So
Like,
people are offended by it. They are
but
offended
people
by
have
it,
a
right?
tendency to get offended very quickly about
But
things.
this
and
time I think
reading
it's
too much into
justified,
situation.
right?
How is it justified?
I mean, H&M
I mean,
itself gave
Has
out an
yes, and that's what's happening, right? Like
sort of an
big
apology, right?
fashion brands have to go out and give an
Succumbed.
apology because they've succumbed to this
One of their
pressure which you feel.
models,
Remember
I
the
guess,
H&M
some musical artist called The Weeknd. I do not know about these acts.
Yeah,
Spare
because-
me. So there's some guy called The Weeknd. Yeah, that's his
not some
freaking
guy.
name.
Yeah.
So he has, I think, sever ties with H&M over this.
Yeah, because now everybody is looking at building their brand value and finding
It's
a
not like
cause and
H&M
an
is saying,
action.
no,
You know, I mean, that's
we stand by
ridiculous.
this advertisement. We believe that kid is a monkey and
Yeah,
it's got racial connotations and we stand by it. It's not like that,
it's
right?
not like that,
But
but
still you
because
see
one
them
needs
facing
a
such backlash. So that to me is a little bit too much. But
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
the bottom line is I understand people who are getting outraged at this. It's very easy to get outraged at it, but I also, part of me also feels, when is it gonna stop? When you start feeling like, okay, this is, people are gonna offend
I
you.
mean, be
People are gonna
outraged
offend
about
you,
the right things,
right?
right?
People are gonna
Like,
offend you if there's an Indian kid over there who's and it's written the guy the guy with the smelliest curry on or something like that.
yeah, like you can make fun of yourself. What's wrong with that? You can
But
laugh
not
a
in that
little.
manner. No? It has got more like severe and sinister
Of course,
connotations
if
than,
an Indian kid is wearing it, and you know, but
yeah.
over
It's
here,
got far more darker subtleties to it,
yeah, but like
right?
this whole H&M thing which is blown out, but you know, a kid usually likes this whole
It's for the second
adventure
time. It's not about the
journalism.
child.
It
Alright?
says about the
It's not
child
about the
also
child.
because it's a clothing
Children are
line
not supposed to
for
comprehend these
children.
things.
Yeah, but I think, don't you think that we are blowing it out of proportion? Because
We are not. People are.
people
They're
are
getting
blowing it out
offended.
of
I know.
proportion. People are getting offended, like they usually like to get offended. The
It's
Dove
good.
ad.
Get offended. It keeps it in check. What is, if they are not offended by it? Who knows what they're gonna come up with next?
Yes, I agree that there is a certain responsibility which big brands need to show while advertising big
It's,
major clothing lines. And it was silly of the stylist or the creative director
let's
who.
just cut it at, it was silly. All right, it was
Yeah,
silly.
but I'm
It,
saying that it was not such a grave mistake.
I'm pretty
right?
sure nobody who was like
that
a,
Weekend has severe ties.
it wasn't
with,
like David Duke from the Ku Klux Klan who designed this hoodie for H&M, right? It was just some
It
guy
was a
with
H&M X.
shitty knowledge of what goes and what doesn't.
No, not. I
Anyway,
mean, well,
enough talk
moving
about
on.
H&M for
Yeah, we've
2
given them
lifetimes.
enough. We haven't really spoken about the sweatshops which exist in.
We won't. That's
Yeah,
really
because we
boring
don't talk
topic.
about it for they're so cheap, right? H&M like just sells.
I think it's pretty expensive. I'm a pretty cheap guy and it's too
steep for you.
it's too steep for me.
Yeah. Steep. How steep is your love for the weekend which is coming?
The guy or the
Weekend
actual
which is
weekend?
the actual weekend, because I think we've carried on for a fair amount of time, so we can give it a wrap right now and come back in the next 10 days.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
Make it a 10-day thing.
Make it a 10-day thing, because fortnightly, weekly.
Because we can't do it like every week.
Yeah,
We're not that punctual or
we're gonna try though, but who knows? We come up
or
with
maybe this is the last episode.
no, this cannot be the last episode.
Bye.
Bye. See you next week.